Chapter 1. A Matter for the Cook. Considering how abominably we English folk cook, I marvel that we should think so much about cooking. Freshwater fish, other than trout, char and grayling, have, to a great extent, been condemned by this, and, candidly, when we reflect how truly nauseous a mess the ordinary English cook is able to compose with, let me say, a roach and her apparatus, it is difficult to feel surprise if the said roach becomes a byword and a scandal in the household forever after, and if the order goes forth that roach are in future to be given away. Beyond some slight knack in egg boiling, I make no claim to skill in cooking, so it is not for me to attempt to teach the cook her business, but I am possessed of a certain amount of evidence that coarse fish are by no means to be despised as articles of food. I well remember an occasion when 3 of us who were fishing the Kennet near Kintbury made a discovery which surprised our simple minds. The river in that district contains very large dace, and we used to catch plenty of about 3/4 pound when we were fishing for trout or grayling. One day in, I think, August, we decided to test their edible properties, and accordingly we had one served for breakfast in company with a trout and a grayling, each of about 1¼ pounds, which is as good a size for eating as need be. A solemn trial of the 3 took place, each man taking a portion of each fish. The unanimous verdict was that the dace was the best and the trout the worst. On another occasion, years ago, I was staying at the little fishing inn at Holywell Ferry on the well-beloved Ouse, and there learned of the possibilities of another fish. It was served at breakfast in a filleted condition, and I remember asking for more without knowing what it was. It proved to be bream. I remember that fish, partly for its excellent savour, but partly also because a fellow angler, when fishing for chub the day before, had caught it on a fly, a very unusual circumstance. Could I be sure of getting bream always to taste as that one did, I would ask of fate no better viand. How the topic brings back thoughts of past breakfasts! It was that good old angler, Basil Field, who converted me to the eel, and well do I remember the amusement on his face as the repugnance on mine gave way to an expression of sheer greed. In truth, your test eel, cut into pieces and subtly fried in egg and breadcrumbs, is the choicest possible food. What vast numbers of eels I have given away in the past under the impression that I did not like them. Roach and chub are chiefly connected in my mind with a tempting odour wafted from the frying pan on shore to expectant noses just above water. It may be that, fresh from the early morning swim, we were not over particular on those camping expeditions. Certain it is that we ate those 2 discredited fish with appetite, but porridge preceded them, and, in times of plenty, bacon followed, so perhaps roach and chub were not so important as they seem in retrospect. I am sure of one thing, though. No fish that smelt so good in cooking could have been wholly worthless. Moreover, I have a friend who is at once a very expert roach fisher and something of an epicure, and he tells me that he knows no better dish than a plump Thames roach in winter when the condition of these fish is at the best. Nor does he confine himself to precept. He eats of his own catch. Nothing could be more convincing. Of perch, caught in a brisk, clean river, I cannot speak too highly. To my mind, a pound of such perch is worth several pounds of trout, and is equal to a pound of any sea fish that I know. Firm in consistency, the flesh is most delicate in flavour. Sometimes I meet people who have never eaten river perch and condemn the species on account of experiments with the stunted specimens that they caught from ponds when they were boys. I do not try to undeceive them, because I know full well that our stock of perch is already lamentably insufficient. We do not want gastronomic raids to be made on those that still remain to us. The converted persons would, I fear, eschew the uncertain method of rod and line, and take nets.